Welcome, everyone, out to Mitchell Stadium in Bluefield, West Virginia for the home opener for the Bluefield College Rams against the Edward Waters College Tigers. Hello, everybody. Bailey Engel and Nick Ratliff, glad to have you with us here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. And, Nick, in that first game, the Rams lost by 7 to the Cumberland Phoenix, but they showed a lot of potential as a young team.
Absolutely they did. Walter Harold in his first collegiate start was 13 for 30, and he also rushed for 30. I think that one thing they need to work on this week is he just needs to build a little chemistry with his young receiving core for the Rams.
And that's absolutely right. Those three receivers that really showed a lot of potential in that first game, Johnny Myers, Jeff Hughes, and Antonio Strickland, they're the guys that have most of the talent on that offense.
Absolutely. If they could just get on the same page this week, I think it would do dividends for the rest of the season.
Then you look at the defensive end for Bluefield, goes along with that young team. A freshman gets a start at nose guard today, Nick.
Absolutely. Brandon Kale from Chilhowie, Virginia, a local guy, is starting in his first game this year.
Yeah, actually getting his first ever start as a Bluefield College Ram, a team or a player that this coaching staff really stresses a lot. There in the offseason, they were talking about how well Brandon Kale has played. He'll hop over Darius Flowers, a guy who has started in the past few years for the Bluefield College Rams. But here we are back here at Mitchell Stadium. Bluefield did not win the toss. Edward Waters College did. They elected to receive, so the Rams will start out on defense for the first time on a beautiful day here in Bluefield, West Virginia. Bluefield 0-1, while Edward Waters College out of Jacksonville, Florida, a school with only about 800 kids there, actually coming in here 0-1 after a loss to Bethel College, 19-13, and it kind of goes along with the same narrative, Nick. They're kind of a young team, but that quarterback they have, Tyler Mala, he's a senior.
He's very good. 2 weeks ago when they played Bethel, he was not only their leading passer, he was also their leading rusher. So it'll be fun to see how our defensive line handles running backs along with a mobile quarterback.
And you're absolutely right when you talk about that defensive line. They did not log any sacks in that first game against the Cumberland Phoenix, so they're going to have to stress that pass rush today. But on the defensive end in that game 2 weeks ago, you had to look at the secondary. Two guys that really stood out, Isaiah Fenner, who logged his first interception of the season, the junior from Virginia Beach, and then Devin Jackson, the junior from Newport News, Virginia, was the Appalachian Division Player of the Week. He had 9 tackles as well as an interception. So now the Bluefield College Rams going out to kick for the first time today. It will be the kicker, Tanner Griffith, who is also a member of the soccer team here at Bluefield College, will walk out there, just a freshman. And now to go out for the Edward Waters College Rams, head coached by Alvin Wyatt Sr. in his 5th season for this team out of Jacksonville, going up against Bluefield. Anchoring in that new era is the first-year head coach for the Rams, Dewey Lusk, a guy that has been around the Southwest Virginia area for quite a while. Grew up in Christiansburg, was a head coach at Emory and Henry as well as UVA Wise. Actually, last year was a coach at Weber International down in Florida, so he's aware of that recruiting for these Florida teams. So the kick is up for Tanner Griffith, and we are underway. See to the end zone, now coming up across the 10-yard line, up to the 15 and tackled at the 20. Decent return, 20 yards. That was Jordan Bailey on the return. So now Edward Waters College underway here. 1st and 10 from their own 20.
Pressure on him here early.
We noted that Brandon Kale was going to get the start today. He is not out there, so a 3 front, Darius Flowers, Tracy Parker Jr., and Larry Jefferson, a guy that did put a lot of pressure on the edge, had a few tackles for loss, and the quarterback is Tyler Mala, all alone by himself, and the gun brings a man in motion. Gets the snap, rolls right, hangs one on the right side where it's caught across the 25 up to the 30. That one was brought in by Basil Spencer, the running back from Fort Lauderdale, Georgia. Only had 1 rush in the last game, and that's a gain to the 30-yard line. So 2nd and 1 at their own 30-yard line. Once again in the gun. Tyler Mala, not a big quarterback. The senior is just 6'0", 170. 2 receivers on each side, and now a whistle and a timeout already by Edward Waters College. So Bluefield giving the Tigers a little bit of trouble here to start out the game at Mitchell Stadium. So they're going to huddle up and talk it over with Dino Kaklis, another guy that brings a lot of experience to this defensive roster. used to play at Purdue, has been with Dewey Lusk for quite some while. But you look at that defense, Nick, you know that in this level, these NAIA teams are really going to air it out, so it's going to come down to that secondary.
Absolutely, and as you mentioned before, Devin Jackson was a big player for us 2 weeks ago. Let's see if our defensive line cannot get pressure. That's going to put a lot more pressure on Isaiah and Devin back there.
Well, there were 5 players on the Bluefield College Rams defense that logged 9 tackle games, and all of them were behind the line of scrimmage, so no big tackles for Tracy Parker Jr. or Darius Flowers, as Parker actually lines up as an end after he was a nose guard on the first play. So 2nd and 1, timeout is over. Tyler Mala in the gun from his own 30-yard line, bringing a man in motion from right to left. Mala gets the snap, rolls left, drops a short pass out to the 30-yard line, immediately tackled by Carlton Toussaint. Will be close to a first down. Received on the play for Edward Waters College. That was number 20, Eric Dennis. So a 1st and 10 up to their own 32-yard line. A couple of little swing passes already. Mala just gets the snap, rolls to the right or left, and then a little dump off. Now he's got a fresh set of downs at his own 32. On the gun by himself now, bringing Dundee Dilworth, the wide receiver in the slot, from motion and left to right. Now another man in motion, hands it off right up the middle, scurrying to the outside before a herd of Rams brings him down. That was Jordan Bailey on the run. No, it was actually Kymion Jones, the freshman from Orlando. He'll get up to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. So a great job by the Bluefield College Rams, and a loss of 2 back to their own 30-yard line. Minute elapsed here at Mitchell Stadium, still in the first quarter, no score.
Another thing from their Ed Waters opening game is their quarterback ended up throwing 2 interceptions. So let's see if we can put some pressure on him and have him make some bad decisions.
Bluefield with no sacks in the first game. Quick snap to Mala. He'll dump it off in the slot to, that was Basil Spencer, up to the 35, a gain of 5, and now it'll be 3rd and about 6. So they haven't really tried to hang it down the field. It's just been little quick jump-off passes. Tyler Mala has been in the gun the entire drive so far. Up to the 36-yard line, they're going to need to get to the 42. Mala with his receivers on the left side, Dundee Dilworth in the slot. He's got Jamal Hughes all the way out on the near sideline. It's the snap. Drops back, looking over the middle, fires right side, intended for Jamal Hughes, incomplete, going out of bounds, and Edward Waters will likely punt.
That was a good opening drive for our defense. With our cornerback sitting about 10 yards off the ball, they pounded the flats the entire drive. So let's see if we make any adjustments to that or if we just keep staying off.
4th and 6 from their own 36. And the punter will be Christiani Robinson. Was actually not very deep, about 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage for the long snapper, Ja'Cory Duffy. Now he'll back it up. Back to receive for Bluefield will be Johnny Myers, almost blocked. Myers lets it drop at the 30. He'll try to pick it up. Almost a bad decision. It'll land right on his knees, and Bluefield will start from their own 29-yard line. So now we're going to see Churchy Harold for the first time at Mitchell Stadium. Folks, he's just playing in his 2nd game ever, a transfer from Virginia State. Now at the NAIA level, last year was not eligible, but Dewey Lusk helped him in the classroom, made sure that he could get eligible, and he is the leader of this Bluefield College Rams team.
Let's see how play calling goes these first few plays. Let's see if we can get him in a rhythm, or if they choose to just take shots early.
Antonio Strickland, the wide receiver on the near side. And a fumble. But that will be Cater lining up as the fullback. They actually have 2 fullbacks. Number 48, Jeremiah Wade, lining up behind Churchy Harold under center. Edward Waters College all bunched up on the line. Still looking. Trying to get a hard count. He gets the snap. Fullback dive, and he will get the first down. That was handed off to Stephen Pack, and that will likely move the chains for Bluefield. Up to the 36-yard line, and that will be a first down.
I wasn't sure if they were actually going to run a play there, if they were just going to try and hard count and get the defensive line to jump.
So now with the first down, Alex Martin brought out of the game, and here comes Malik Brown for the first time today. The scat back from Charlotte, North Carolina, just a sophomore, as Harold lines up in the shotgun from the 36-yard line for the Tigers. Gets the snap, hands it off to Brown, cutting back right side, and he almost had it up to the 34-yard line. A gain of 3, and it will be 2nd and 7.
Gain of 2 on the play. Brings up 2nd down and 8.
2nd down and 8, rather, as they spot it here. Right at the 33-yard line. Have to get up to the 26. And the gun once again. Harold drops back, hangs one on the left side, intended for Johnny Myers, and it's broken up. Decent coverage for Edward Waters.
Harold's pass intended for number 13, Johnny Myers.
A big player to watch for Ed Waters' defensive line is number 66, Zerl Davis, a 6'5", 340-pound redshirt freshman from Jacksonville, Florida.
And that's going to be a tough matchup for the center, Quante Hines, who is actually a captain in this game. But 6'5", 340, that's a ton to deal with. Harold in the shotgun once again. 3rd and 7. Snap. Drops back. It'll be a screen intended for Malik Brown. Ball tipped around and incomplete. It'll be 4th and 7 from the 33-yard line. And Bluefield once again looking like they do not want to get off of the field. And the Rams trying to hang one up deep. Got to watch out for that secondary for Edward Waters College. Joey Williams was the leading tackler for the Tigers last week, and now the Rams will send out the punt team from the 33 and try to pin the Tigers within their own 5. Back to receive, it's Kennard Mahone and Drake Presley, the punter. Devin Jackson will be the long snapper once again. High snap, Presley reels it in, and a little coffin corner punt will land out of bounds. See where they'll spot it. It's a pretty good punt. And the referee still walking. And Bluefield not getting the spot that they really intended for, but still not bad. Tigers will start out at their own 13-yard line. So still no score with 10:06 left to go in the first quarter. And Bluefield showing some promise in that drive after the big run by Kyle Cater off of a little dump pass that was really a crisis for Bluefield, and Harold just made the play happen. Now Mala will line up once again in the gun. 2 receivers on his right side as well as his left, with a running back to his right. Bringing a man in motion, hands it off right up the middle, juking on the left side, and then tackled by Devin Jackson. What a play for the Rams, bringing him down behind the line of scrimmage, and it will go back to the 12 for a loss of 1.
Contact by number 4, Devon Jackson. Gain of 3 on the play.
Actually got up 3 yards. Ball spotted on the 16 after forward progress. And now Tyler Malo once again landing or going out there in the shotgun formation. Really trying to spread it out here, but they haven't gone deep so far in the game. Rorel Allen lining up as a wide receiver on the right side, a handoff, and then bunched right back behind the line of scrimmage, and a great tackle by Larry Jefferson. That handoff was to Javonte White, and he was brought down right behind the line of scrimmage.
And that's problems you'll have early in the season in this type of offense with a lot of motion and a lot of play action.
And it looks like Edward Waters College is also dealing with some of those kinks that goes along with being a young team. A loss of 2 on the play. 3rd and 9 from their own 14. Bluefield needs a big stop right here. 2 receivers on the right side, a lone setback on his left. Kala gets the snap, drops back. Looking down the middle, a pump fake, under pressure, hangs one, and it is incomplete. That ball was intended for the receiver. Philip Tyler was covering. Good coverage on that by the junior from Alexandria, and Edward Waters will be forced to punt.
That was a great drive. Pinned them deep, and we were able to get a 3 and out.
Quick 3 and out. Now here's Johnny Myers. Robinson back to punt for the 2nd time today. He'll have to punt it from his own 14-yard line. It's the snap. Hangs a low punt. Myers signaling for fair catch, and he'll catch it right on his knees at the 45-yard line, or 41-yard line, rather. 1st and 10 for Bluefield in great field position with 8:24 left to go in the first period. It's on that first drive where Bluefield kind of stuttered a little bit. They set up in the I formation in 3 straight plays, trying to run up the gun, and that's really not something we saw out of them in that first game. They aired the ball out a lot more, so we'll have to see what they do right here.
Absolutely. Lining up and pounding, though, we have a very experienced and old offensive line. Let's see if we do that this drive.
Led by the senior center, Quante Hines. As the snap, handoff to Alex Martin up to the 40. It'll be a gain of 2, 2nd and 8. Brought down by a couple of Edward Waters College Tigers. Gavin Anderson, the linebacker from Pahokee, Florida, bringing him down and pushing him after the initial contact. 2nd and 8 from the 40. Bluefield in Edward Waters territory. Once again, the Rams lining up in the I formation. Under center. Gets the snap, hands it off to Rashad Butler on the right side, across the 35, up to the 30, and that is a first down. The freshman, who had over 50 yards rushing in the first game, gets his first carry today, and it's good enough for a BC first down.
That was a great block by number 24, Kyle Cater, to seal the edge right there.
Now up to the 30-yard line. Rams in the pistol with Butler behind him. 2 receivers on the right, or on the left, and 1 on the right. Hand off to Butler, right up the middle. Harold will keep it across the 25 and near the 23. A good fake by the quarterback, who also had over 30 yards rushing in the first game, and it'll be 2nd and short.
That was a great read by Walter there on the left end.
They moved on the left side. You're absolutely right. 2nd and 3. Snap. Hand off to Butler on the right side, getting across the 20, and ball pops out. A fumble. Joey Williams near there for Edward Waters. Going to have to see who comes up with it in the scrum. And Rashad Butler definitely doesn't have it, but it's recovered by Antonio Strickland, who saves the day, and it will end up being a first down for Bluefield. Big break right there for Rashad Butler. Bluefield almost coughed it up, but Antonio Strickland, the freshman wide receiver, able to fall on it, and it's still a first down for the Rams.
That was a heck of a hustle play by Strickland because it did not look like he had it at first.
At the 19, Harold in the gun, high snap, hands it off to Malik Brown, and he's brought back to the turf right at the line of scrimmage. And a good tackle for Edward Waters. That's Ja'Cory Duffy, the DB, getting in there for the solo tackle. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line. Bluefield still lining up in a shotgun formation. 2 receivers on the right. Snap to Harold. Fake handoff. Rolls left. Looking for Hughes. Still rolling. He'll take it himself up to the 15 and pushed out of bounds right there at the 15-yard line. So a gain of 4. And it will be 2nd and about midway, or 3rd rather. 3rd down for Bluefield in the red zone. You're going to have to see what they can do here. They struggled there in the first game in red zone opportunities. 3rd and 6 from the 15. Snap to Harold, rolls right, hangs one for the end zone, and it's incomplete. Through the hands of Charles Black, the redshirt junior from Winter Springs, Florida. And Bluefield will bring out the kicking team. So 4th and 6, and Tanner Griffith will go out to try to boot his 2nd ever collegiate kick through the uprights. Had a short one against Cumberland. And this one will be 32 yards from the left hash. Bluefield trying to get on top for the first time today. Holder is Zachary Wright. Snap, hold is good, kick is up, and it is good. 32-yarder through the uprights. Tanner Griffith, the freshman, puts the BC Rams on top for the first time here at Mitchell Stadium. It's 3-0 with 6:15 left to go. We're going to take a short break as
Griffith to kick off for Bluefield College.
So after the 32-yard field goal from Tanner Griffith, Edward Waters College will get it back with 6:15 left to go. Griffith back to kick once again. A solid drive for Bluefield that started right around their own, or the Edward Waters College 45. Griffith hangs one deep. Will be received by Dwayne Randall at the 10-yard line, up to the 20, up across the 25, and he'll stumble up to the 31-yard line for Edward Waters College. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. So on that first drive, Nick, Bluefield really does have to capitalize on those red zone opportunities.
Absolutely. Other than not scoring 7 there, Walter Harold made a very good decision on running out to the left instead of trying to force a pass in the end zone. Looking at a young quarterback, that is a great thing to see.
1st and 10 for Edward Waters. Once again, they will line up in their own territory, but now under center for the first time today. Tyler Mala gets the snap, a quick handoff, and then he'll try to shuffle it out. Ball's on the ground, picked up by Bluefield, and the Rams will get the ball at the 2-yard line. That one picked up by Sean Kolb, the linebacker, and Bluefield 1st and goal at the 2, and a helmet is off. Kolb actually tackled, and now he is a bit shaken up on the play. So Kolb, with a great job, able to pick up the ball on the failed option, but now he is hurt. Heads up play for the junior from Manassas Park, Virginia.
And if you're Edward Waters, that's an odd formation to come out in when all you've run is spread and you go back to a formation that originated when football was originated. So it was risky, and the option today, especially at a level like this, is so hard to run because your defensive line is so athletic and those reads are so quick. He just pitched a little bit behind him there.
Well, it was absolutely right behind him, but Sean Kolb able to make the heads-up play and pick it up right off of the turf. And he almost had a touchdown and then just tracked down on the play and brought down immediately. But he is one of the few returners on this Bluefield College Rams defense, a guy that has actually been one of the leaders on the defense, especially with a team with 75 first-year players. And he almost had a touchdown to put Bluefield up 9-0. But now the entire training staff is out there on the 2-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for Bluefield. And we're going to take a quick break here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Bluefield up 3-0 with a 1st and goal opportunity with 5:59 to go in the first quarter. So now Sean Kolb is off of the field. 1st and goal for Bluefield at the Edward Waters College 3-yard line after the fumble return for the Rams. It's a snap, hands it off right up the middle, and he'll be plunged down right at the 2-yard line. So now 2nd and goal to go for Bluefield.
And we see him line up and run behind the right tackle, Michael Hinckley, the senior. Let's see if they do that 2 or 3 more times.
72.
3-0 Rams, 5.5 minutes left to go. he'll get the ball up to the 1 and actually fumble out of bounds. So now Bluefield very close to a touchdown. It is 3-0. Rams at the 2-yard line, 2 yards to go.
It's looking like they're
shotgun formation for Harold, bringing a man in motion. 3rd and 2. Gets the snap. Rolling right. And he'll take it himself, juking around up to the 5, and now he'll be brought down for a loss. And Harold and the Bluefield College Rams in trouble right here, as it'll be 4th and goal to go. They're going to send out the kick team.
I believe he was looking for his tight end over the middle there, but he just got caught in traffic with linebackers and ended up on the ground.
Tanner Griffith in to kick. 4.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter, and Griffith will line up for a 21-yarder. Snap, kick is up, and the short kick is through the uprights. Bluefield up 6-0 after the fumble return by Sean Kolb. They have an early lead over Edward Waters with 4:14 left to go in the first. Once again in the wing tee, and now he'll back it up under center.
There's a different quarterback in the game.
Now a new quarterback hands it off right up the middle, and Bluefield once again wrestling down the ball carrier. It's Christian Hayes.
The freshman from Lubbock, Texas.
So the freshman, only 6 foot 170. We're seeing this Edward Waters College team really struggle, and they got the ball up to the 24-yard line. Still 3rd and a lot, 3rd and 16. And Hayes will stay out there. 2 receivers on the right side. So we already see Tyler Mulligan taken out of the game. And Christian Hayes, the freshman, lining up right behind the line of scrimmage in a shotgun. 3 receivers on the right, gets the snap, moves up in the pocket, a little dump pass. And that is complete, but brought down for a loss. On the far sideline, looks like for Bluefield, Antonio Dawkins able to make the tackle, and the Rams will force a 3 and out.
Edward Waters seems very hesitant to throw the football down the field.
Just all these dump passes, and they haven't been able to really get anything going with that. Once again, Johnny Myers back to receive, the freshman from Jacksonville High School. And the punter, once again, is Christiani Robinson. 4th and 16 from their own 24. Robinson gets the snap, hangs a line drive punt right to Johnny Myers. No fair catch. Gets hit initially, moves back to the 40, still on his feet, dancing near the 45-yard line, and brought down at the 43. And a flag coming down late. He did not fair catch it, which looked like a bad decision, but shakes off that first hit and dances up to the 43-yard line. Bluefield starting in their own territory.
Out of 3 punts today, Johnny Myers has taken a risk on all 3. Each time the ball has been coming down to him, he's had at least 2 or 3 defenders within 5 yards of him.
And a holding is the call on Bluefield. The Rams will have to back it up after initially getting the ball at their own 43. They'll start at their own 33. But Churchy Harold and his Rams crew trying to score a touchdown for the first time today and really get some sort of drive working. Got the ball at the 3-yard line the last time and then failed to score a touchdown. But now lining up in a shotgun formation with Rashawn Butler, the lone setback. 3 receivers on the right. Fake handoff to Butler. Harold moves out to the right, dumps it off for Jeff Hughes, who will get up to the 41-yard line. Solid gain of 8 for Bluefield, and it'll be 2nd and 2.
That was a great play by Shaquille Stoudemire for Ed Waters, getting off his block and coming up and making the tackle.
2nd and very short. Once again in the shotgun with 3 receivers on the left. Handoff right up the middle to Butler, and a jersey tackle by number 94 for the Edward Waters College Tigers. Looks like for the Tigers that time it was Deion Shaw.
That's your hardest read as a quarterback in the option, is if the end stays but he comes 2 or 3 yards down the line of scrimmage. It's a hard choice to make in a matter of split seconds.
A gain of 1 is good enough for a fresh set of the Foos guard clapping, and it looks like Harold might have to get that big run negated.
It looks like Andrew McPhee. I'm not sure what was going on.
So McPhee will walk off, and he'll get an earful from the offensive line coach. And an unsportsmanlike contact, a late hit on the play, and it'll bring the run back. So over a 20-yard rush for Walter Harold wiped off, and now it's up to the 50-yard line.
Those big linemen down in the trenches, it's not a fun game down there. They usually get a little upset with each other, and that one just spilled over the play a little bit.
Minute 24 left to go in this opening period of play. It's 6-0 Bluefield.
15 yards back from the end of the play.
First and 10. Snap to Harold. Drops back. Looks right. Pump fakes. Now down the middle for Antonio Strickland. Intercepted. And it'll be a fresh set of downs inside their own 10-yard line. But a big interception by Dazel Clater for the Edward Waters College Tigers. Took a chance deep, but overthrew his receiver.
And Bailey, I believe that comes with having a young quarterback. He looked and hesitated, took another step, then decided to let it go and just overshot him. There was space between our receiver and their defensive back, but he just overshot the throw a little bit.
So another big mistake for Bluefield, and the offense has had all of the chances so far in this game, but now a 1st and 10 from their own 8 for Edward Waters College. Decent throw down the field for Harold, and Strickland was open. Just hung it up a little too high, and Clater was able to bring it in. Once again, under center. Man in motion. Malabek across the 20, up to the 25 before the secondary brings him down a 1st and 10, but laundry on the field. This one might be coming back for the Tigers. Already seen 3 flags in the last few minutes. Minute 2 left to go in the first. And it's an offsides on Bluefield. Penalties decline, so it is a 1st and 10 for Ed Waters up to the 27-yard line.
Let's see if Ed Waters is going to stick with this triple option style offense or go back to the gun.
Well, it's been working the past few drives. They just haven't been able to convert on third.
So well as it's very hard to replicate during your week in a scout team when you have a team that doesn't run it every single day.
Up to the 35-yard line, and they tried to air it out in that first drive and have immediately gone with the option. Mala under center. Another man in motion. Fakes the handoff up the middle, now dumps it off on the right side. He'll get across the 40 up to the 42-yard line, and that is good enough for a first down. So Basil Spencer gets the option toss and moves the chains for the Tigers.
Spencer, the ball carrier. Result of the play is a Waters first down.
1st and 10 from their own 42. Ed Waters finally finding some sort of rhythm. Still 6-0 with the clock ticking down in the first quarter. And that will be it for the first period of play. So Bluefield, 2 field goals from Tanner Griffith, good enough to have an early lead against Ed Waters. You're watching Bluefield College Rams football here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. First and 10 for Ed Waters from their own 42-yard line. Once again, lining up under center. They've gotten a few first downs. Mala, the quarterback. He fakes the handoff up the middle, takes it himself, fakes another pitch across the 35. Ball comes out, and Bluefield picks it up. First and 10 for the Rams. And another big mistake on the option. Bluefield able to get the ball coughed up, and they'll have the ball in Tigers territory. First and 10 Rams. So Tyrese Henry able to recover the fumble. Another guy that had 9 tackles in the first game against the Phoenix, and it'll be first and 10 from the 38. Second time today, Nick, we've seen that fumble get coughed up on a pitch.
That's very, very hard play to run. Let's see if they come back out and start throwing it again, or if they just try and stick with the triple option.
Well, for the Rams, they're going to line up in the I formation. Butler, the setback. Snap, handoff left side to Rashad Butler, trying to move across the line of scrimmage, and he's brought down by Joey Williams at the 35-yard line. Gain of 3, second and 7. Bluefield's had their chances in this game, so the second time we've seen the Tigers cough a ball up. Bluefield, the first time, got it picked up and took it all the way down to the 2, but it was a solid stance by the Tigers to send the kicking team out for Bluefield. So that's why they're only up 6-0. Second and 7 from the 35. Harold in the gun. High snap, hands it off to Butler on the right side, juking across the 35, up to the 30, and into first down territory, up to the 25, and it will be good enough for a first down for the Rams. Moving the chains at the 26, and Bluefield once again wasting no time. Harold really commands that offense. This team does not huddle a lot as Butler is taken off of the field, bringing in Malik Brown, the new tailback. Once again in the gun, 3 receivers on the right side, ball spotted on the right hash. Snap to Harold, drops back, looks over the middle, takes it himself, fires for the end zone, and it is intercepted, and that will be another turnover. That one picked off by Shaquille Stoudemire. Second interception of the ball game thrown by Walter Harold. Looked like it was intended for Jeff Hughes, and Harold just couldn't put the ball on the money. And once again, Edward Waters catches a break. That defense really is bailing them out.
They are. We've been in the red zone 3 times, and we've only come away with 6 points. That's deflating as an offense, but very, very energizing for Ed Waters' defense.
Edward Waters, if you go into the locker room at half, they have to be pretty proud of that defense because Bluefield really should be up by 2 touchdowns right now, but it's only 6-0.
They're playing the infamous bend but don't break type of defense.
Well, you got to see here if Edward Waters will still go with that triple option. Tyler Mala is in at quarterback. We've already seen the freshman for Christian Hayes get some reps for Ed Waters. Under center, Bluefield in a 3-man front. Fakes the handoff and actually will hand it off right up the middle. That one to Daniel Wright. He'll take it across the 40, or across the 30 rather, up to about the 35-yard line. It'll be a first and 10 for the Tigers.
If Edward Waters keeps running this triple option, let's see if defensive coordinator Dino Kaklis brings about 8 or 9 guys into the box.
Still going with the 3-man front for Bluefield. Darius Flowers and Tracy Parker Jr. have switched off as defensive end and nose guard throughout the game. Once again, right the setback, and they'll hand it off to the fullback once again, and it won't work that time. Larry Jefferson, the defensive end, coming off of the edge and plowing up the middle. Gain of nothing, and it'll be second and 10. Actually moved up 2 yards, but Jefferson still very good play off of the edge. It'll be second and 8 at the 37-yard line. Have to get the ball up to the 45. And Edward Waters really has gone away from lining up in shotgun. Another snap. He'll take it himself, throwing down the middle, and it is incomplete. Tyrese Henry on the coverage, and the pass intended for Kyvion Jones. So we saw once again, for Edward Waters, Nick, they're a team that when they pass, they don't really let that play develop for a long amount of time. They're always little quick shots.
They did not. They're looking for the quick hitters, the quick seam pass to the tight end. They want to get the ball to their playmakers as quickly as they can and let them move in space.
Ball spotted still at the 37-yard line. 3rd and 7. Bluefield defense looking for another big stop. They're lining up in the shotgun. 3 receivers on the right. Snap to Mala. Drops back. Hangs it left side. Incomplete. Intended for Rarell Allen, and it will be punt time for the Tigers once again.
Devin Jackson got a lot of pressure coming from that blind side on Mala there.
Devin Jackson, the reigning Appalachian Division Player of the Week in that first game. And Bluefield, once again, relying on their defense, and they get another big stop. And Johnny Myers will be back to receive the punt once again from Christiani Robinson.
12:35. 12:35.
They're going to add 4 more seconds onto the game clock here in the second quarter. 12:35 left to go in the half. Bluefield up 6-0. Johnny Myers all the way back to his own 25.
Let's
Really been that smart on punt return today as he gets the ball at the 20-yard line. He'll take it on the left, looking for a few blocks, dancing near the 21 and brought down at the 22. Not a great return for Johnny Myers, trying to make something happen, but still for the Rams, 1st and 10 from their own 22-yard line here at Mitchell Stadium.
Now here's the test for a young quarterback. You throw 2 interceptions early in a football game. Do you come back out and the next pass play that's called, are you timid, or do you just let it fly and try and play your way through it and trust your ability?
Well, those 2 interceptions, his man was open, just didn't hit him on target. And both of those interceptions have came near the end zone. Harold lines up in the gun. Malik Brown, the setback beside him. He'll hand it off to Brown. He'll spin for a gain of 2. Up to the 24-yard line. And Bluefield will have 2nd down. Clock ticking, just about a little over 12 minutes left to go in this second quarter. Now an offensive line change. Tim Washington brought in as the guard. Freshman from Rock Hill, South Carolina. Harold gets the snap, fakes the pass, takes it up the middle himself, up to the 29-yard line. Solid tackle for the Tigers, and a decent gain for Bluefield, but it will be 3rd down nonetheless. And Zach Kastner brought in as the tight end. Bluefield has not really targeted the tight end so far in this season.
And the type of offense that I believe that we run, we look for quick stuff on the outside to our receivers.
Now Harold in the gun, 3rd and 5 at the 29. Snap, drops back, looking, have to roll on the right under pressure, fires right side, and it is incomplete. Right off of the chest of Malik Brown. Would have been caught at the 38-yard line, but it looks like a 3-and-out for Bluefield and another missed opportunity because there were men open on that play.
Absolutely.
So Drake Presley in as the punter once again.
They wreak havoc against our offensive line. The first 2 plays of the drive, he was putting pressure and forced our quarterback into bad decisions.
Davis, that big 6'5" nose guard. Kennard Mahone back to receive the punt. Decent snap to Presley. And a good spiraling punt all the way back at the 25-yard line. Mahone with a juking move. Moves across the 30, dancing near the 35, and he's brought down on a solid tackle. Bluefield with decent coverage on the punt. That was Jason Whitlow, the freshman from New Kent, Virginia, on the tackle, and it will be a 1st down for Ed Waters.
Turn to the 34-yard line where Edward Waters begins 1st and 10.
First and 10 for Ed Waters. Ball spotted at their own 34. For the Tigers, really the tale of these 2 offenses today. Bluefield has had decent starting position in Tigers territory, but still hasn't been able to really come up with big scores. While the Tigers have been pinned down inside their own 50 for most of the ball game. So now Mala lines up once again under center. Gets the snap, drops back in an option, pitches it out left side to Basil Spencer, who will dance up to the 40-yard line. And actually ball spotted at the 39.
Knocked out of bounds.
Gain of 4, second down.
I will say Mala on his pitches, he's not pitching with one hand like you traditionally see.
It's a chest pass.
Yeah, he's kind of two-hand chest pass to his running back.
Second and 5 from their own 39 on the left hash. 10.5 minutes left to go in the half. Still lining up under center for Mala and the Tigers. Man in motion. Fake handoff right up the middle. Mala takes it left side. He'll dance out near the sideline, across the first down marker near the 45. And that will likely move the chains, if not be a third and short. And they will move the chains. A first down in 2 plays for Edward Waters.
With this style of offense, your DBs a play action from this formation and end up throwing it deep.
So still with the ball at the 44-yard line. First and 10. Tigers getting close to moving into Rams territory now in a shotgun formation. High snap from Mala, hands it off right up the middle, and a great bunch of tackles for Bluefield. Looked like Andre Evans, the linebacker for Bluefield, with the initial contact. And the ball carrier for Ed Waters was Daniel Wright, who's gotten a few carries here already in this game. Tigers have really spread the ball around. Basil Spencer getting a few rushes. Wright. And then Mala, the quarterback, leading the rushing here, the quarterback. Ball spotted at the 48, shotgun for Mala, hangs it. Ball spotted at the 50-yard line. Have to get it up to the 46.
Bailey, do you think this is 4-down territory for Edward Waters? Or?
Well, I mean, I think that they probably will think about it, rolling the dice. And they have been able to move the ball on the triple option. So I'm Alvin Wyatt Sr. Have to consider it. Shotgun snap for Mala, and now a flag. Looks like it's going to be a false start on the Tigers. It makes it even harder.
I want to say that Michael Everett baited that right tackle into that bet.
Great job by Bluefield. Looks like they were showing the rush, and they'll push it all the way back to the 45. So instead of 3rd and 5, it's now 3rd and 10.
That's a crucial mistake there for Edward Waters' line.
3rd and 10, bringing men in motion. 2 receivers on, and he drops it going down, and it will be 4th and 10. Good pass intended by Mala, and a flag down after the play. Punt team already walking out for the Tigers. And a face mask will be called on Ed Waters. Bluefield likely to decline this. Face mask, like we said, decline, and Bluefield sending out Johnny Myers once again to receive the punt. Another solid stop for Bluefield, and a couple of penalties in a row, really pushing back the chances for the Tigers.
Robinson on the punt for Waters, Edward Waters.
So now Robinson punting once again. Got to see if Johnny Myers can get something going here. We've seen some chances for him, but really rolling the dice. The 45, a snap to Robinson, and the block almost happening for Bluefield as the punt will bounce out of bounds near the 35-yard line. And they will push it all the way back to the 30. 34-yard line, 1st and 10 for Bluefield.
That was only about a 21-yard punt.
Not a great one for Christiani Robinson. And Bluefield trying to get something going. Shows some promise, has a decent command of the offense, but has missed his target on 2 big plays. Try the right hash, own 34. Still 6-0 with 8:16 left to go in the second quarter. Harold lines up under center, I formation. Gets the snap, hands it off to Martin on the left side. He'll dance up to about the 38-yard line. Gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Alex Martin is not going to be a back that's going to burn you on the outside, but he will get 3 or 4 yards per carry.
And he's a little bit different than this offense that Dewey Lusk has really stressed in his first year. The eye once again, another handoff to Martin on the right side, and he's immediately hit at the line of scrimmage. Bruce Thomas, the linebacker for Ed Waters, with a solid tackle. And already it's a 3rd down. Ball spotted at about the 39.5. Bluefield has to get it up to the 44. And the eye once again, Harold, play action, rolling left, still rolling, under pressure, now dancing, trying to find a man, still on his feet, up to the 40-yard line, and tackled by Bruce Thomas. No one was open, and a solid bit of coverage by the Tigers after the linebacker, Bruce Thomas, logs another tackle for the Tigers, and it's a 3-and-out for the Rams, sending out the punt team once again. We talked about that offense just trying to find the kinks, and in this first half they've had a few of them. Still up by 6, though, and that has really been the tale of this game for both teams. Young talent just hasn't really utilized it so far. So Presley once again to punt. Mahone back to receive. Lining up at the 42-yard line. Mahone all the way back on his own 20. High snap for Presley. Sends a high spiraling punt on the right side, bouncing at the 30. Good roll for him all the way inside the 10. Ball still rolling and out of bounds near the 4-yard line with a couple of flags down on the field near the Edward Waters 30.
I believe that is going to be a personal foul. That was a very late hit, about 15 yards away from the play while the ball was rolling.
And there is absolutely no room for that because, 1, wasn't even going to receive it, and 2, your coverage or your starting position is already as bad as it is, so you're just going to have to move it back even further.
Absolutely.
And it'll actually be on Bluefield. Tyrese Henry with a personal foul, so that will help out Edward Waters College. Ball was originally spotted near the 5, and now they're going to move it up.
Correction, half the distance to the goal.
And now half the distance. He pointed to the wrong team. So he said number 9 on Bluefield, and that's actually going to be number 9 on Ed Waters, Joey Williams. So now the ball will be spotted all the way back at the 2-yard line. Well, the Whitecap kind of screwing us up right there, but Bluefield, great chance to maybe get a safety right here, Nick.
Absolutely. Throw some more points on the board, get some momentum.
6:22 left to go in the half. Tyler Mala still lining up under center with Daniel Wright, the setback behind him. Receiver on each side. Under center is Mala, gets the snap, hands it off right up the middle, and Wright will get them out of bad territory up to about the 6-yard line. So 2nd down.
I would look for Edward Waters to keep pounding that fullback until they get a little bit of room to work. You do not want to have an option and fumble the ball back into the end zone. That all Bluefield has to do is fall on top of it for 6 points.
And already 2 fumbles today as well. Mala under center. Bluefield with 6 men in the box. Fake handoff up the middle. Pitches it out right side. Up to the 10-yard line and brought down on a tackle by Carlton Toussaint as he flew all the way out of bounds on momentum. But a solid gain. And now the ball all the way up to the 12-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and 1.
Gain of 5. Brings up 3rd down and 1.
3rd and 1 for Ed Waters. This started at the 2, so they did a good job giving themselves some room to work. Might have to see him go up the middle once again. Mala under center. Hands it off right up the middle. Trying to wrestle for a 1st down, and it will be close. Moves the ball up to the 15. And a 1st down for Ed Waters. Good job by Bluefield not letting him get to the 2nd level. But still the Tigers moving the chains.
Short gain will result in Edward Waters' 1st down.
That was Matthew Holland, the ball carrier for the Tigers. Quick little fullback dive. It's been working. And the ball spotted at their own 14-yard line, 1st and 10. Bluefield looks like they have a four-man rush. Mala, another handoff quick up the middle, dumps it out right side, dancing across the 20, up to the 25, spinning near the 30-yard line. Solid carry for Quavon Bird, the freshman from Jacksonville, and a 1st and 10 for the Tigers.
There was a huge cut block by the wide receiver number 1, Jamal Hughes, out here on our cornerback that allowed him to pick up an extra 6 or so yards.
1st and 10 from their own 31. So they have backed out of that corner and have moved up to the 31-yard line. 6-0 still. Handoff right up the middle once again. And he will get up to the 34. Gain of 3.
Holland has a great build for that up back position.
And into the box, so they have been able to use that fullback dive pretty well so far in the first half. 3:48 to go in the half. Holland once again, the backup drop snap. Mala will take it himself before he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage by Larry Jefferson. So Jefferson coming off of the end, and a loss of 1 for the Tigers.
We have made an adjustment on this drive. We've gone from a 3-man front to a 4-man front. Let's see if we continue with it or not.
A 3-man front to start out the game made a little bit more sense, where the Tigers were lining up in a shotgun formation for most of that first drive. But now, the past quarter or so, they have been lining up under center. But now it is 3rd and 6. From their own 35, Mala in the gun. Snap. Drops back, looks left, hangs it deep for the middle, and it is incomplete. Dangerous pass, almost caught for Bluefield on an interception by Isaiah Wiggins. But the pass spirals in the dirt, and it'll be 4th down.
That's the second drive in a row for Edward Waters that Mala and his receivers have not seemed to be on the same page on a big 3rd down play.
Still, though, for Edward Waters, they get out of some dangerous territory. The drive started at the 2, move it up to the 35, and now with 3 minutes left to go in the first half, Bluefield has a chance to really get something going and possibly go up by 2 scores going into the locker room. Robinson back to punt. Another spiraling low line drive, bouncing near the 35, rolling out of bounds right around the Rams' 25-yard line, and that's where they will start. 1st and 10 for Bluefield, 2:52 left to go in the second quarter. And Walter Harold, those past couple of drives have been failures for Bluefield. They've gone near the end zone, it was picked off, and on that last one, just a couple of rushes by Alex Martin, and Bluefield didn't get anything going. It was a 3 and out.
This is a big drive for Walter Harold on this Rams offense. If we can get 7 points going into the half, this would be a completely different game coming out of that.
Haley Engel and Rick Ratliff, glad to have you with us here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Spotted at the 25-yard line. Harold in the gun. 3 receivers to his right. Drops back, looks left. Fires open. Myers, and it's incomplete. Low pass. Edward Waters got a finger on it. Once again, and there was Thomas. And it's incomplete. 2nd and 10.
One thing with these offenses is the fact that quarterback does not have to look off defensive backs. He pretty much tells us to receiver that's going to get the ball, and that just opens up the easy jump.
Snap to Harold, hands it off, and fakes it up across the 25. And a small gain up to the 28-yard line. Gain of about 3 for Walter Harold, a good fake. And now it'll be 3rd and 7 to go at their own 28-yard line. Harold trying to get some completions. It's been a while since he's reeled one in. Snap to Harold, drops back, has to move around in the pocket, dishes off a tackle, throws it over the middle, and it is incomplete. Bit too high for Johnny Myers, and another 3 and out for the Rams.
Both quarterbacks have not been very accurate early in this first half, and that is, they are both young. They all have young receivers, but
it's kind of a testament to pocket. Had to immediately roll out and try to make something happen, and nothing was there. So now the Rams call on Drake Presley's name once again. Kennard Mahone back to receive for the Tigers. Snap to Presley. Swing of the leg and a line drive spiral right to Mahone, received at the 35-yard line. Block in the back, all the way back at the 35. So he's tackled at the 47-yard line, but this is going to likely come back. for Bluefield. That was Mason Jefferson on the coverage, and he was absolutely drove into the turf on a block in the back by the Tigers.
It seems almost every special teams play that we've had, something has gone wrong throughout the play, and there's been a flag thrown.
Now have to move the ball back. Bluefield looking for another defensive stop here. They are only up 6-0. A couple of kicks by Tanner Griffith in the first quarter. Bluefield had the ball at the 2-yard line and failed to score after a Sean Kolb punt return.
Well, Bailey, with 2 minutes and 5 seconds left, do you think Edward Waters is going to come out in the shotgun and try and run a 2-minute offense, or do you think that they will line up and try and run the triple option?
Well, they have 2 timeouts left, and they've been able to move the ball better on that triple option than they have with going in the air. So I think might have to try to pitch it out a couple of times, but we talked about it before. Tyler Mala with those 2 bad pitches, that's also rolling the dice because Bluefield has been able to pick up 2 fumbles.
And as a quarterback, when you make those 2 mistakes, it's always going to be in the back of your head the next time you run out and try and do it.
1st and 10 from their own 28, and the Tigers line up in the gun. 3 receivers on the right. Snap to Mala, he'll pass it, fires it left side out to Jamal Hughes where it's completed up to the 35-yard line. Gain of 8, 2nd and 8, or 2nd and 2 for Edward Waters.
Look for a lot of 6-7 yard outs on this drive, trying to get out of bounds and just keep moving the ball off the field.
Have to get it up to the 38. Ball's at the 36. Mala once again in the gun. Snap, drops back, looks left, fires to Hughes again, caught, and then running out of bounds, but still good enough for a first gain of 2, and it'll be a 1st and 10 from their own 40. No huddle for Ed Waters. And just what the doctor ordered, and that'll stop the clock with 1:33 left to go in the half.
If Bluefield's cornerback set 6-7 yards off the ball, I'd look for Edward Waters to keep continuing to go to that out throughout this drive.
Mala, snap, drops back, pump fake, hangs it deep left side, and that will be caught, but out of bounds. Tyrese Henry tried to drag that foot. That would have been his first interception of the year, but instead just an incomplete pass, and 2nd and 10 from their own 40-yard line.
Somebody that Edward Waters has not looked to at all this game is Deshae Hooker. He is a 6'5", 175-pound wide receiver, number 2, and I'm not sure why, but Mala seems to be favoring the left side more so than the right side.
Well, Jamal Hughes, that left side receiver, did have 10 receptions and a touchdown in the first game, so it looks like he's targeting him once again in the second game for Ed Waters. Calling an audible. 2nd and 10. 1:28 left to go in the first half. Daniel Wright lining up right behind him. And he'll fake the handoff to Wright. Dishes it out to Basil Spencer. Gets across the line of scrimmage. Dancing near the 50 with room to run at the 40-yard line and pushed out of bounds. Great gain as he gets out of bounds to stop the clock. 1st and 10. But a flag down all the way back at the 50. Another chance this might come back.
It looks like a chop block or a high-low block from the area where the flag is.
So will this be another time? And exactly what you said, Nick. Illegal chop block, bringing it back.
It seems every play that either Edward Waters or the Bluefield Rams offense runs that gains 10 to 15 yards or more seems to come back off of a bad penalty.
So now instead of it being a first down up at the Rams 41, it's pushed all the way back to the 34-yard line for Ed Waters.
And that's a big break for Bluefield. That changes Edward Waters' drive for this last minute and 18 seconds. Instead of shooting for the end zone, maybe they'll just try and run the clock out and run it into half, 6-0.
2nd and 16 for the Tigers. And Mala looking towards his sideline, lining up in shotgun formation with Matthew Holland, his back. 2 receivers on each side from the right hash. Snap to Mala, under pressure, moves left. Pump fake, moves across the 40, room to run, across the 50, up to the 45, jukes out left side, big run for Ed Waters, a first down at the 39-yard line. What a play by the senior quarterback. It was 2nd and 16, moved it all the way up to the 40, and the clock is ticking. 1:06 left to go in the half. 1st and 10 from the Bluefield 40 for Ed Waters. Snap. Drops back, hangs it left side for Jamal Hughes. He'll catch it in bounds, though, and tackled by Carlton Toussaint.
Look for Edward Waters to pull one of those timeouts out of their pocket here with we're under a minute left in the half.
45 seconds left to go, 2 timeouts. 2nd and 6 from the 36. Mala in the gun once again, 2-step drop, hangs it over the middle, intended for Hughes, reels it in on a one-handed catch. 1st and 10, and that's the play of the game so far. Up to the 17-yard line. 30 seconds left. They still have 2 timeouts. 1st and 10, Jamal Hughes with another great catch. Mala looked like he was going to spike him and now lines up in a shotgun, clock ticking. 23 seconds left. 1st and 10, fakes the pass, takes it left side, juking up to the 10, and he's brought down. And now we're going to see a timeout. Good gain of about 7 for Tyler Mala, and it will be 2nd and 3. But still a timeout taken, 2nd timeout for the Tigers. But Tyler Mala really making these plays happen here, Nick, right before the end of the first half.
Yes, let's go back to that play where Jamal Hughes brought it in with one hand. They ran a pick play with Spencer and Hughes and got the DBs a little bit, 3 or 4 yards off of Hughes. Mala with an inaccurate pass, but Jamal just makes an absolutely incredible play.
And Jamal Hughes, a guy that did have 10 receptions in the first game for a touchdown, and still looking for that first touchdown here in this first game. Bluefield has done a great job throughout the first half of really keeping Edward Waters back in their own territory. But right now, with the clock ticking, that timed offense has worked so well with just 15 seconds left to go in the first half.
If Edward Waters can score here and go into halves winning 7-6, that has to be deflating for Bluefield, who has essentially dominated this football game so far.
And especially with just so many missed opportunities on the offensive end. That has been the story for Bluefield today. Walter Harold and his receivers really haven't clicked in that first half. Only real big chances came in the first quarter, and Ed Waters has done a great job of just keeping him at bay with 2 interceptions. So now Christian Hazen at the quarterback position, a freshman from Lubbock, Texas. 2nd and 3 from the 10. Gets the snap, drops back, hangs left side, ball intended for the end zone, and it's incomplete. Jamal Hughes looking for his first touchdown of the game, and Tyrese Henry on the coverage. It'll be 3rd and 3 from the 10.
That was great coverage by Henry coming up from the safety position, seeing that our corner was beat just by a step. Came in, and I think the receiver heard footsteps.
Still an interesting choice for Alvin Wyatt Sr., the head coach, bringing in his freshman quarterback in a red zone situation. And 3rd and 3, they're going to keep him out there. Had 2 completions in the first game. Could be a big stop for Bluefield. 3rd and 3 from the 10. High snap for Hayes. Drops back. Rolls left. Takes it himself. Dances up to the 10 and pushed right there at the 10-yard line. It'll be a 4th down and a timeout coming up for Ed Waters, probably sending the kick team out with 3 seconds left to go in the first half.
That is big for the Bluefield defense there. Hopefully just holding them to 3 and maybe nothing.
Another timeout for the Tigers, and they had to get that play off pretty quickly because if he stays dancing around, Bluefield makes a tackle, time runs out, and the Rams could still be going into the locker room leading 6-0 without a chance at the field goal for Ed Waters.
And that's why you kind of question bringing in the freshman quarterback rather than sticking with the senior that's been here for 4 years.
It'll be a 25-yarder for the left-footed kicker, Christiani Robinson. Bluefield looking for a block. Kick is up, and they got a hand on it. Blocked kick for Bluefield, and the Rams once again with a big play. Looks like it was Brandon Kale, the freshman, getting a hand on it. Big block, and that's why they like him, folks. Clock runs out, and we are at half, so another chance for Ed Waters coming up short. 6-0 Bluefield, and we're going to be right back here on the Rams Digital Sports Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your halftime enjoyment, under the direction of Dr. Charles Priest, please make welcome the Bluefield College Ram Band. look at scores from around college football. Final scores this week. Utah State 51, Idaho State 13, Florida International 17, Alcorn State 10, Purdue 44, Ohio 21, Oklahoma State 44, South Alabama 7. Games currently in progress. In the fourth quarter, Buffalo leads Army 17-14. In the third quarter, Duke 24, Northwestern 10. The third quarter, Eastern Kentucky 13, Kentucky 10. In the third quarter, Maryland 42, Townsend 7. In the third quarter, Michigan 17, Cincinnati 14. Third quarter, Louisville 27, North Carolina 21. Third quarter, Iowa 21, Iowa State 10. Third quarter, Kansas State 45, UNC Charlotte 7. Third quarter, Mississippi 24, Tennessee Martin 16. Third quarter, Wisconsin 24, Florida Atlantic 14. Third quarter, Georgia Tech 17, Jacksonville State 7. Second quarter, Wake Forest 14, Boston College nothing. First quarter, no score, Texas State, Colorado. Third quarter, West Virginia 49, East Carolina 6. Ladies and gentlemen, today at La Fiesta in Bluefield, Virginia is Bluefield College Day. Anyone wearing Bluefield College gear?
Back here at halftime at Mitchell Stadium, Bluefield up send on it, and a big block keeps Bluefield up by 6-0. Bailey Engel and Nick Ratliff here at Mitchell Stadium. And as we take a look at these first half stats, it was a hard first half for Churchy Harold.
It was, and we talked about that before the game started. He has 2 interceptions. He has 36 yards, but we had that one play for 26. So other than that one broken play that turned into 26 yards, he has struggled in the first half.
Just 2 for 10 with those 2 picks. And you look at those interceptions for Bluefield, they were pretty close to being touchdowns. He was aiming for getting into the red zone, and then that last pick was actually intercepted in the end zone by Ed Waters. Bluefield has had their chances. They just need to capitalize.
And that just shows he's not afraid to take a shot. And I think with some more experience, those passes will be on point, and we will get touchdowns out of that.
On the flip side for Ed Waters, rushing so far today, when they changed it up going into a triple option, Nick, the Tigers had a little bit more success.
Right, and I think coming out the first drive for Ed Waters to start off the game, they saw that 3-man front, and I think they decided right then to make the change to the wing T type of offense. I think that the triple option, if you can run it successfully, is one of the hardest offenses to defend.
And Tyler Mala, when he goes to the air, he is 8 at rhythm as far as the passing games goes. But for Ed Waters, offensively, they have dominated the course of the game. 12 first downs despite being down 6-0. They do have 147 rushing yards, net yards that is, as compared to the Rams' 88. Passing yards 73 to 36. But both teams with 2 big turnovers.
Right, I think turnovers has been the name of this game so far, along with the personal fouls on the special teams. I think that Bluefield's lack of yardage this game has not been because we have not been able to move the football, but it's because of our starting field position on, I'd say, at least half of our drives has been inside their 20.
You do mention those penalties. Ed Waters, that has crippled them today. 4 penalties for 50 yards, while Bluefield with 2 big penalties for 27 yards. big one was that play by Andrew McPhee for Bluefield. It was a decent run. They had a 1st and 10, but then brought back on a late hit by the guard.
Right, and that's hard to see. Linemen getting into it 15, 20 yards behind the play when your quarterback is 30 yards down the field. It's just, I believe that's just competitiveness and wanting to beat the other guy.
So 2 more quarters left to go.
We need to get Walter Harold into a rhythm offensively throwing the football. I think that we need to hit some quick passes, get our receivers into some space, and just get him going and have him have a little bit of confidence throwing the football coming into the second half.
And I think on the defensive end as well, goes without saying that Bluefield really needs to try to keep that rush attack at bay, because it looks like on that triple option, Tyler Mall is starting to figure out Bluefield. He keeps the ball himself, but with those 2 bad pitches, that has really hurt the Tigers' chances so far in this game. Just about 8.5 minutes left to go here in the second half, or in half break, and we're going to be right back with the head volleyball coach here at Bluefield College, Buddy Gallimore. 6-0 Bluefield at half.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, today is Military Appreciation Day at Mitchell Stadium. I want to take just a couple moments and recognize the branches of military serving all veterans and active duty here with us today. Thank you for your service here on Military Appreciation Day.
Back here at halftime at Mitchell Stadium, Bluefield, just about 5 minutes left to go before we get football started up again. They're up 6-0 over the Edwaters College Tigers. But I have here with me now the head women's volleyball coach here at Bluefield College, Buddy Gallimore. Buddy, how you doing?
Doing good. Doing good. Great game, great weather out here today. Great day for football.
So what do you think the Rams need to do to wrap up this win today?
Well, our defense is playing well, but we've got to run the ball, catch a few more balls, and score a few more points than they do.
There you go. Well, let's talk about your season for a second. So how have the Bluefield College Rams women's volleyball team, what have you seen out of them so far this year?
Well, we've started off a little slow, but we've also upped our competition a little bit this year. We've gone to Atlanta to play at Life in a pretty decent tournament and with some good competition. Played decent down there. Then last weekend we played at Bob Jones and played much better. I think we're getting better every day. We're practicing hard, and we're anxious to get this conference season started.
Have any individuals for the Rams stood out to you?
Well, of course, Cameron McCroskey has played very well. She's the leader on the floor. She's our setter, and as she goes, we will go. And we're starting to spread the ball out a little bit more, get the ball to the pins, and we've got a redshirt freshman that's playing well here in the middle, and Katie Kendrick. So we're looking forward to the rest of the season.
Well, you talk about the rest of the season, a big game coming up on Tuesday. You can actually watch that on the Rams Digital Sports Network. First home volleyball game against Tennessee Wesleyan. What do you expect to happen?
I think it'll be a good match. We've split with them the last 2 years, both winning on our own home court, and hopefully we can continue that. Tennessee Wesleyan's got a pretty good team. They're ranked or were picked higher than us in the preseason poll, but I think with this conference it's going to be wide open.
Well, we'll have to see what happens. Game on Tuesday. That's going to be right here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Yours truly will be on the call. Buddy, I look forward to seeing you out there on the court, and thanks for stopping by with us.
Great. We're looking forward to being at home and seeing everybody at the Dome.
All right, still at half here. 6-0 Bluefield up on Ed Waters.
Bluefield College will receive the second half kickoff.
Listen, we might be on.
Ready to go with the third quarter here at Mitchell Stadium. Bluefield gets the ball to start the third, and pending a kick from Christiani Robinson, Ed Waters with a big chance to get on the board and lining up in some sort of muddle huddle to start out the third quarter, thinking that it could have been an onside, but Robinson instead will go back deep. Back to receive for Bluefield, it's Jeff Hughes as well as Malik Brown. So a sophomore and a freshman back. Robinson, the left-footed kicker, with a line drive intended for Brown, and it goes straight out of bounds. He just hooked it, and it'll be a great starting field position for Bluefield. Not the start you wanted if you're Ed Waters.
Bailey, could you believe there was another flag on a special teams play?
Another flag on a special teams play, and Bluefield gets good field position, but we're going to have to see here if Churchy Herald can get anything going. Only 2 for 10 in the first half, a guy that has definitely shown some great, potential, but has to find the open man, and instead they're going to re-kick it.
It's an odd decision for Bluefield.
And they want to see if they can return it here. Malik Brown and Jeff Hughes still back. Christiani Robinson will now have to kick it from the 30 instead of the 35. So Bluefield elects for the re-kick. Still up 6-0. And it's like that play never even happened. Still waiting for the clock to run in the third quarter. So let's try this again. Another kick for Robinson. This time it will be right to Brown. He'll receive it at the 15, goes on the right side across the 20, up to the 25. Room to run at the 40. Tackled at the 40, at the 50-yard line. And they will spot him right there. A good return for the young man out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Brown is not the biggest fellow on the field, only at 5'5", 155. But he made his moves work there and got us down to the 52, it appears.
Well, all the way up to the 48. 52. They flip over. So the 48-yard line for the Tigers. And now Churchy Herald will get a fresh set of downs and a brand new start. 14:53 for him to run in the third quarter. In the gun, Alex Martin will be the running back. A fake handoff to him. Herald will keep it himself, spinning at the 45, up to the 40, into first down territory, up to the 35. A great play fake for Churchy Herald, up to the 35-yard line. Gain of 13, 1st and 10.
That's one thing you would never question with Herald is his athleticism.
Ball spotted at the 35-yard line. Herald showing, like you said, that athleticism. Shotgun. Another fake handoff. He'll dump it out on the left side for Jeff Hughes. And that pass incomplete, but a late hit and a flag coming in on Joey Williams. Because I think Joey Williams assumed that it could have been still a live ball, but the pass was forward. Late hit. Could push it up 15 yards. And a late hit will be called on the senior. And another break for the Bluefield College Rams, moving at 15 yards.
And that's a tough play to gauge as a defensive back because if the ball is live, of course you want to get it and get possession for your team. But if it is dead, you do risk the possibility of getting that 15-yard penalty.
Already 3 straight breaks for Bluefield. Really 4. A penalty on the kickoff, then a solid return by Malik Brown. And then right after that, good run by Churchy Herald, a late hit. Now they have a 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. And another flag out on the field. Sideline warning will be called on Ed Waters. Alvin Wyatt and the Tigers reeling here. 3 straight flags thrown onto the field. Now Herald, with 3 receivers on his left side, will get it in a shotgun. Hands it off to Martin on the right. He'll get up to the 17-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Now Baylor back into familiar territory inside of our red zone. Now let's see if we can pull out 6 on this drive.
Bluefield looking for their first touchdown. Snap to Harold, rolling left, sets his feet, still rolling, and a throw for the end zone intended for Johnny Myers, off his fingertips, and it rolls into the end zone, incomplete. 3rd and 7. Once again, an incomplete pass. He is now 2 for 11. Well, the running game was working, though, those first couple of plays, as Alex Martin will jog to the sideline. Malik Brown, the smaller back, brought in. Ball spotted on the right hash. Have to get the ball up to the 11. It's 3rd and 7 from the 17. Harold back, under pressure, moves up in the pocket, he'll take it himself, has a first down to the 10, near the 5-yard line, and he'll jog out of bounds. Now that's a veteran decision. Had nobody open, saw some room on the edge, and he'll move it into first down territory. It is 1st and goal from the 6.
Absolutely, Bailey. You never want your quarterback taking more hits than he needs to take. He knew he was not going to be able to score there, so instead of taking the unnecessary punishment, he just runs it out of bounds.
Just after one play, Malik Brown, the running back, taken off, and Rashad Butler in. 1st and goal from the 6. Butler walking up to Harold looking for the play, and will line up as the setback, Cater the fullback. In the I formation, they saw blitz, and Harold steps out of the center, goes back under center, and a timeout called. They didn't like the coverage brought in by the Tigers, and a timeout called by Dewey Lusk with 13:20 left to go in the 3rd quarter. But it looks like Bluefield starting to make a little bit more better decisions than we saw them make in the first half, especially by Walter Harold. And he's got 2 solid rushes here already in the drive, and Bluefield has a chance to go up at least 13-0.
Right, another thing that has impressed me about Harold this drive is he does not seem to be fazed by drops. He's had 2 pretty rough drops this drive, and instead of being upset and having his head down, he's been the leader of this offense, hopped right back in the huddle, and with those 2 runs has led them down to the 6-yard line.
So a timeout used early by Dewey Lusk, a guy that always talks about, I look like a good quarterbacks coach when I have a good quarterback. And throughout his interviews coming into the first game, as well as here in the second game, he has been stressing the fact that Churchy Harold does have a lot of talent, and he's got a lot of talent around him. He's been trying to target Johnny Myers as well as Jeffrey Hughes. Hasn't looked on Antonio Strickland as much, who throughout that first scrimmage as well as the first game showed a lot of talent. But now they are back out there on the right hash, 1st and goal from the 6. In the I, Harold hands it off to Butler on the left side. He'll move up a couple of yards, and he's tackled at the 2-yard line. Gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Billy, this is a position that Bluefield has to get the football into the end zone.
Ball spotted at the 3. Bringing in some new receivers, Jeffrey Hughes as well as Charles Black. So they will not line up in the I as they take the running backs off. Butler is the running back to his left. 3 receivers bunched on the right. 2nd and goal from the 3. Harold gets the snap, hands it off to Butler into the end zone. Touchdown, Bluefield. Rashad Butler, the freshman, gets into the end zone for the first time in his college career. And Bluefield takes a 12-0.
6 points coming out of half.
Griffith's in for the PAT. Snap is low, hold is down, kick is up, and it is off of the upright, no good. So the PAT, no good from Tanner Griffith, but still Bluefield with a touchdown in this one. They are up 12-0 in the home opener at Mitchell Stadium as we take a break here on the Rams Digital Sports Network.
Number 94, Tanner Griffith.
Tanner Griffith will be out for the kickoff after missing the PAT, but Bluefield enjoys a 12-0 lead after a 3-yard touchdown rush by Rashad Butler, the freshman, able to get into the end zone for the first time ever. Griffith boots it, and it's back deep for Edward Waters. Across the 25, up to the 28, and a quick tackle laid down by what looks like number 28 for Bluefield.
Jonathan Green.
Jonathan Green on the tackle, and it'll be 1st and 10 from the 28 for Ed Waters as they get the ball for the first time in the second half. Well, that was one of the better drives we have seen this year from Bluefield College. They get the ball at the 48-yard line. Good little drive. And we saw there no pass completions on that drive, just solid rushes for Bluefield.
And I think with the plethora of backs that Dewey Lusk has on this offense, he's going to lean on that running game for most of this season.
Christian Hayes in at quarterback, lining up under center. Right, the fullback, they'll hand it off straight to him. He'll get up to the 33, tackled by Devin Jackson.
And Edward Waters coming out of the half with Christian Hayes in at quarterback.
Ball up to the 34. 2nd and 5 to go. Hayes gets the ball, fakes the handoff, takes it himself across the 40, has the first down and tackled at the 47-yard line. And a good gain for Ed Waters, going with the triple option once again. And Bluefield hasn't done a great job of keeping that at bay with that 4-man front.
That is a very hard offense to figure out from a defensive standpoint, especially with 4 men on the front line.
Freshman still in as the quarterback. He hands it off to the fullback right, across the 50-yard line. Still on his feet, and the whistle finally blows as they get into Rams territory. Gain of 4 for Wright. Just a junior from Spring Hill, Florida.
And Bailey, the key to defending this triple option is your defensive ends along with your linebackers. They cannot be timid. They have to make decisions, and your cornerbacks have to cover the pitch man as well as they can.
Brandon Kale in as the nose guard. Darius Flowers taking some time off on the sideline. Haven't gone in the air as much as Christian Hayes lined up in the gun, now under center. Gets the snap, rolls left, looking for a pass, stops in his tracks, throws, and it's completed up to the 40-yard line and into the 38, a first down. And a good completion for Ed Waters. Looks like that was Quavon Bird. So Bird with a solid reception. 1st and 10 from the 38 for Ed Waters. Thought they were going run. Matthew Holland, the tailback. And they'll hand it off to him. He'll get it up to the 30 and near the first down marker. It's going to be a yard short, but at the 29. Quick run. 10.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Still 12-0 Bluefield. 2nd and 1 from the 29. Hayes gets it, hands it off, and he'll take it himself across the 25. Has a first down before he's tackled. Solid fake and a tackle for Bluefield. It's Jonathan Green on the stop. Another Edward Waters first down. Have it at the 24-yard line. Been a quick drive for Ed Waters. Haven't huddled. Go straight under center. Use the triple option well. And that one pass to Quavon Bird was good enough for a big gain. So now, 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line. Pitch out on the left side for Basil Spencer, towing down the sideline and pushed out of bounds into the red zone now. And they'll get it at the 18-yard line. Gain of 6.
This is not the type of offense that is going to kill you with one 80-yard play. It's going to beat you down, long drives, and just wear out your defensive line along with your linebackers.
Well, we'll have to see if Bluefield can stand strong for another big stop. We're talking about it at halftime. Players of the game were each defense, but now changing up in the third. Hayes hands it off right up the middle to Holland, and he is quickly brought down by the defensive front. Brandon Kalin on the tackle, combining with Andre Evans, and it will be 3rd and short. 3rd and 1 from the 15-yard line. At the 16, rather. 9 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Ed Waters with another chance. Lining up under center. Christian Hayes, freshman quarterback in. Fakes the handoff, pitches it out left side for Basil Spencer, and he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage. That was Jonathan Green with a big tackle for a loss, and it'll be 4th and 4. Have to see if they'll send out the kick team or go for it.
That was a big play there from our cornerback, having the pitch man and being able to take him down in the open field. That's a hard play.
Now the freshman from Decatur, Georgia, with a huge tackle. 4th and 6 from the 20. Have to get it up to the 14-yard line. They're going to go for it. 2 receivers on each side.
I'd be looking for number 1 Jamal Hughes on this play.
Freshman QB in. Snap. Looking. Fires over the middle. It is dropped. Almost intercepted, but a turnover on downs. And that was Tyrese Henry on the coverage, almost with his first interception of the year. Hit him right in the numbers, but still they'll take it. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line, but you got to think if he catches that ball, could be a pick 6.
He had wide open space coming down that sideline. And you know what they say about defensive backs? If they had better hands, they'd be receivers.
Wide receivers, absolutely.
But he did. He had about 85 yards just wide open to get to that end zone.
And a quick rush right up the middle. Bluefield gains about 1. Tackle by Antonio Gamble. And it will be 2nd and 9. So Bluefield defense with another red zone stop. That's 2 in a row. They blocked the field goal right before the end of the first half. And then good stop. Almost intercepted by Tyrese Henry. Walter Harold in at quarterback in the gun. 3 receivers on his left side. High snap. A little pass out to Rashad Butler, juking at the 20, across the 25, up with space, still at his feet, up to the 38-yard line. Great gain. It's about an 18-yarder. And Rashad Butler already has a touchdown. He's shown all that potential in these first 2 games. Against Cumberland, he had over 50 yards rushing, and here today with a big reception as well as a touchdown, moving the chains for Bluefield.
And we've talked about this all day long, is getting those quick passes and having your athletes out into space, and that time we were able to do it and catch the football.
1st and 10 from their own 38, 7:19 left to go in the third quarter. Jet sweep for Jeffrey Hughes, looking for an edge on the outside, still on his feet, juking at the 35. He gets across the line of scrimmage, up to the 41. Could have been a loss of 3, but instead it's a gain of 3, and it's 2nd and 7.
Jeffrey Hughes, the ball carrier.
Bluefield with all the momentum, and that looked like a busted play, but that's something you can see out of this young team, is that they're a team that likes to extend the play, and they have the athletes to do so.
And that was a veteran play by a freshman, just getting upfield and getting down.
Delayed handoff to Rashad Butler. He takes it right up the middle, up to the 48-yard line, close to the first down marker, and that will move the chains once again. So Rashad Butler, the star here in the third quarter for Bluefield, and he'll be taken off for a quick breather for Malik Brown. 1st and 10 from their own 48. 6.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. In the gun, gets the snap. Fake handoff. Walter Harold immediately brought down as he tried to read it, and he read it wrong, right behind the line of scrimmage.
Number 1 Harold, the ball carrier.
Good tackle by Jalal Neal, linebacker. It's a long guy who's 6'5", 340. Play action, hanging it deep, looking for Antonio Strickland, and it's a pass a little bit too far. But boy, he was open.
2 or 3 yards overthrown to him. Even though that was an incompletion, that is a positive play for Bluefield, I believe.
2nd and 13, or 3rd and 11 rather, from the 47. Delayed handoff to Malik Brown, trying to inch up to the line of scrimmage, and he'll get nothing. Bluefield likely to punt here, and it being 4th and 10 to go. Hey, they don't pay me to be the coach. High snap for Drake Presley. Still gets off a great punt, spiraling near the 10-yard line, received by Mahone, and immediately brought down on the tackle by Isaiah Fenner. Now, why didn't Mahone fair catch that? Start from their own 10. So once again, not great field position for the Tigers.
And that was an incredible punt by Presley, getting it inside of the 5 and right on the sideline to where it could not bounce and be into the end zone for a touchback.
Christian Hayes led the drive the entire time for the Tigers on that last drive. They got it all the way to the 10. They pushed it back to the 20, and then Bluefield able to hold strong and get the turnover on downs. Got to see if they'll still bring Hayes out there, and they will. So the freshman from Lubbock, Texas, once again in as the QB under center. A receiver on each side. They're on the left hash. 1st and 10 from the 11. Take it as a sneak right up the middle. Immediately tackled by Trakes last year. Still looking for their first sack so far in the season. They haven't really had that many opportunities with the team like Ed Waters, who doesn't really drop back and pass as much. Quick little passes and these quick little fullback dives. 4.5 minutes left to go, third quarter. It's 12-0 Bluefield. Lining up in a bunch set. Hayes quickly drops back, spinning around, looking for a man under a lot of pressure. Still on his feet, gets the pass completed, and it will be a loss. Immediately tackled is Carlton Toussaint. Again, we've called his name a lot today. The DB has had a decent amount of tackles, and once again, a bad play for Quavon Bird, trying to get something going with a dump-off pass to the running back. Nothing going. And it pushes them back to the 16-yard line.
Bailey, I believe that was supposed to be an option to the right. The quarterback took off to the left, and it turned into just a little dump pass. That did not look designed or planned whatsoever.
3rd and 5 from their own 16. They're going to land or line up quarterback for the first time today. He is 0 for 1, just a freshman from Miramar, Florida. And it'll be a 3-and-out for the Tigers. So that's the third quarterback we've seen have a pass attempt so far in this game for the Tigers today, and coming up with nothing. So now Johnny Myers, back to receive. 3:39 left to go, third quarter. Bluefield up 12-0.
And you got to wonder if something happened to Tyler Mala in that first half.
As Tyler Mala had most of the reps. Now Christian Hayes did a decent job on that first drive. Robinson gets it off. And the punt hanging in the air, bouncing near the 46-yard line, and it will hit a Tiger right in the chest on the bounce, right off of Khalil Lewis. And Bluefield will get the ball at the 46-yard line, 1st and 10. Not a great kick, and Bluefield starts out in Tigers territory.
At the 46-yard line, where Bluefield College will start first.
Bluefield already scored a touchdown on their first drive of the second half. It was a 48-yard drive, and now this could just be a 46-yard drive. Harold, last time he had it, him and the Rams only had a 3-and-out. Now they'll start with shotgun formation. Alex Martin right behind him. It's the snap, hands it off to Martin right up the middle, up across the 40, and tackled at the 37-yard line. Gain of 8. 2nd and 2 coming up.
That play is going to open up for Bluefield because you have your defensive ends for Edward Waters so worried about Harold carrying the football.
No huddle. Harold has it in the shotgun again. Hands it off to Martin. It's a fake. Dumps it out to Jeff Hughes on the right side, and he's pushed out for a loss. Bluefield, not a great play call. That one was just better off being incomplete. And I think if you're Bluefield right there, I might just want to go with a handoff instead.
Absolutely. You have 2nd down and a short line to gain. You just want to try and get that 1st down and have 4 more downs to play with.
Pushes them all the way back to the 40. It's 3rd and 4. And they'll stay in the gun. Martin lining up on the left side. 2 receivers on the right. Harold flicks it out on an option to Alex Martin, and he's tackled for a loss. Joey Williams in there, the leading tackler for the Tigers. And Bluefield with a disappointing 3-and-out after a first play was a gain of 9. They're going to have to send out the punt team. So they got the ball at the 46, and after all that, only get up to the 43. And Drake Presley back to punt once again with Mahone to receive.
Number 42, Drake Presley on the punt for Bluefield College.
That's a hard pill to swallow if you're this Bluefield College offense. You go down, you finally score a touchdown, you get the ball on the other side of the 50, and you go 3-and-out. You can't do anything with it.
Just doing it a little too much. High snap for Presley. And a good punt. Mahone signals for fair catch, and he'll catch it right at the 9-yard line. So once again, Edward Waters gets the ball backed up all the way in their own territory with 2:04 left to go in this third period. It's still 12-0 Bluefield. But right there, I think Bluefield just trying to do a little too much.
I agree. I think that with that screen pass, it was not only you have the possibility of losing 4 yards if you catch the football, but it was to the boundary of the field, so you don't have enough room for your receiver to have room to dance around and try and get upfield a little bit.
We'll spot it at the 8-yard line. Last time we saw Williams in as the quarterback. And looks like he will be again. So Randy Williams in as the QB. Third quarterback today for the Tigers. Three receivers on his left. We'll throw it over there, intended for Basil Spencer, and it goes incomplete. 2nd and 10. So that can't be great if you're Alvin Wyatt Sr., 5th season head coach for Edward Waters. Just the 2nd game, and you're already using 3 quarterbacks.
And 2 of those 3 quarterbacks are freshmen. That is tough. They're getting their first experience in college football, and it's not an ideal situation that you want to put a freshman quarterback in down 12-0.
Randy Williams with 2 receivers on each side in the gun. Snap, drops back, under pressure, has to move up, and he's tackled. First initial contact by Devin Jackson, the reigning defensive player of the week, and he's showing why. Good pressure off the edge, and he's brought down at the line of scrimmage. Actually a loss of 2. It'll be 3rd and 12. Randy Williams once again in the gun. Matthew Holland, the back, right on his left, looking for blitzers. 3 receivers on the left side. Jackson showing pressure. Drops back in his own end zone. Pump fake. Still under pressure. Takes it himself. Moving up, and he's tackled at the 10-yard line by Andre Evans. Almost a safety, but he moved up. But then Tracy Parker and Andre Evans teamed up to chase him down, and it will be 4th down in a punting situation for Ed Waters with a minute left to go in the 3rd.
I believe that was testament to our defensive backs there. He had a good 4 to 5 seconds to throw the football. There was just nobody to throw to.
Well, the offensive line doing a good job of fending off Bluefield. Ed Waters giving Randy Williams enough time, but just nowhere to throw it.
Absolutely, and as a quarterback, you would rather have that pressure on the outsides of you rather than coming right up the middle. They left them a lane to run up, avoid the sack.
Robinson, fake punt, throws it down the line, and it is picked. It is caught. And the fake punt works out, caught by Cedric Lewis. And now the defense right back out again. So they roll the dice, and it works. Christiani Robinson just lobbed it up there, and it was caught.
Even though they got the first down in that situation, you got to think, if you're Dewey Lust, that Edward Waters is a little bit desperate and does not have faith in their defense if they're trying to fake a punt inside their own 20.
Right, well, that's why if that's incomplete, Bluefield gets the ball at the 10. Williams once again. He'll take it himself and move up to the 30-yard line. A tackle by Larry Jefferson. Gain of 3. 2nd and 7. So the fake punt.
You don't see that very often, I'll tell you that.
Especially at your own 10.
But thinking about it, this entire game, their punter is lined up about 70 yards off the ball to start with and then drop back to about 12. So you had to think that they had that.
Something was going to change.
Right, you had to think they had that quick little pass in their arsenal.
That is the end of the 3rd quarter with 1 more quarter left to go. Bluefield is up by 2 scores. It's 12-0 Rams over Tigers here on the Rams Digital Sports Network.
12, Edward Waters, 0.
Into the 4th quarter here at Mitchell Stadium. 2nd and 8 for Ed Waters at their own for Cedric Lewis. Had the ball at their own 10, and they did that. And Randy Williams in as the quarterback with 2 receivers on each side. Drops back, fires over the middle. It's intercepted. Bluefield has it up to the 20-yard line, pushed out of bounds. And Bluefield with another big pickoff. That time for the Rams, it was Michael Everett, the freshman from Alexandria, Virginia. First interception of the year.
And Bailey, Bluefield College will take possession again inside of the red zone.
Third time that has happened today. And the Rams have the ball at the 16-yard line. Here comes Walter Harold.
Would you come out and first play throw to the end zone?
Absolutely. Got to do it.
I agree with you on that one.
Looking for another completion. Harold has struggled in the air today, but also got to think Alex Martin has an opportunity for his second touchdown of the year. 2 receivers
and you have
out
one-on-one coverage down here on the bottom.
One in the slot, Jeff Hughes on the right side. Martin moving around to the left of Harold. In the gun, gets the snap. Drops back, hangs it over the middle, caught by Johnny Myers into the end zone. Touchdown, Bluefield. Johnny Myers with his first touchdown of the season and another touchdown for Churchy Harold. It is now 18-0 Bluefield.
That was a great play call and great execution by Bluefield.
Quick touchdown. Johnny Myers was open. And Bluefield has a chance to go up 19-0, pending the extra point from Tanner Griffith.
And you got to think that's a big confidence boost for Walter Harold right there.
Wind blowing on the right for Griffith. Snap is low, kick is up, and it is good. 19-0 Bluefield as one play drive off of the interception from Michael Everett executes for 7. We'll be right back on the Rams Digital Sports Network as the Rams are beating the Tigers 19-0 in the home opener.
Back to receive for Edward Waters. Number 23, Jordan Bailey. Number 30, Devontae Wade. To kick for Bluefield College, number 94, Tanner Griffith.
So after the 16-yard touchdown pass from Churchy Harold to Johnny Myers, Bluefield is up 19-0, and they are looking for their first shutout victory since 1941. Have to go all the way back to World War II, folks. That kick from Tanner Griffith bounces at the 20-yard line and picked up off of the bounce up to the 32. Good tackle for Bluefield that time by Anton Brown, the freshman. Of course, you could say that about 2/3 of the team are freshmen. 62 freshmen on this Rams roster looking for a home opening win. Up against Ed Waters, 14:42 left to go in the fourth quarter. And they are going to line up once again with, it looks like, Randy Williams, the quarterback, going out for his 3rd straight possession. 3-man rush in for Bluefield. Williams with the snap, drops back, pressure on the left side. It's tipped, and the ball picked up, and they will say it's incomplete. Larry Jefferson thinking it's a touchdown, but that's an incomplete pass. They got a hand on it.
Bailey, I'm not a referee, and I don't get paid to be a referee, but I do believe that ball just honestly slipped out of the quarterback's hand.
It looked like he got the ball off, and then it was just tipped on the play right after it. Very close to it being a fumble, though. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 33. Now in as a defensive lineman for the first time today is number 92, Terrence Hall, 300-pound sophomore from Glen Burnie, Maryland. Randy Williams in the gun once again. There's a guy that they have tried to air out the ball a little bit more with. Snap. Fakes the pass, takes it up the middle himself across the 35 before he's brought down right up near the 38-yard line.
Tackled on the play, number 4, Jackson
It'll be 3rd and about 5 to go. Tied in as well on the end. Randy Williams under pressure, pump fake, and he's brought down. Big sack by Devin Jackson. All the pressure coming in, and Randy Williams had nowhere to go. Punt team coming out for the Tigers, and another 3 and out for Ed Waters.
That's a very big play by Devin Jackson, the Bluefield defensive line. They've woken up this second half and started getting after people.
And Dino Kaklis really bringing the pressure for the first time this season. Bluefield with all the momentum in the world, and they have been a different team in the second half.
I agree. I'm not sure what Dooley said during halftime, but it got his guys going.
2 big red zone opportunities they were able to convert. And now, Cian Robinson out to punt again. Won't fake it this time. Line drive spiral right to Johnny Myers, and he'll catch it and fall on it right at the 40-yard line. Might want to let that bounce next time.
Right, he's had a few risky punt returns, but it hasn't bit us quite yet.
Flag on the field right after the play. Johnny Myers had to dive.
A flag on special teams?
There you go, another one. Bluefield up 19-0 with 13-14. About to start the drive at the 40, pending this flag. And they're still looking for what this penalty will be called. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Ed Waters. And it will be a fresh start for Bluefield in Ed Waters territory. I think that Johnny Myers called fair catch and then dove on it and was still hit. So that was a dicey play for Ed Waters, because another drive for the Rams starting in Tigers territory. Harold in the gun, 3 receivers left side. Alex Martin, the tailback. Hands it off to him right up the middle, won't get much. Up to the 44-yard line. Stop made for Ed Waters by Jalal Neal. 2nd and 7 at the 46. Run game has worked in the 3rd quarter, and now trying to keep it going in the 4th for Bluefield.
I think we're wearing down that Edward Waters defensive front.
3 receivers on the left, hands it off, fake it right this time, nowhere to go, and tackled near the line of scrimmage by Kennard Mahone. And he's trying to extend that play, and Harold's just got to get a little bit better at reading the defense on an option like that. Gain of 2, 3rd and 5. Up to the 41-yard line. Fresh set of downs would start at the 36. In the gun, Harold, snap, rolling left, looking for a man, pump fake, sets his feet, hangs it for the sideline, and it's too high for Johnny Myers, and it'll be 4th down.
And you saw in that play, Walter Harold kind of directing traffic, trying to get his receiver to go up about 5 more yards there, and I believe they would have had it.
Now they'll send out the punt team once again. Drake Presley has got a decent amount of playing time today. Number 42 running out, and Mahone will be back deep to receive for the Tigers. We're down by 3 scores. It's 19-0. Mahone trying to maybe break open something, but Presley will get the snap, punting from the 45. Aiming for the right corner. Mahone will not try to receive it. Takes a solid bounce. And once again, the Tigers will start out with awful field position, if you're an Ed Waters fan, at their own 8-yard line. 1st and 10 for Randy Williams and company. And I think Randy Williams has been a little bit more of an option as far as passing down the field, and that's why Alvin Wyatt has kept in the freshman.
I agree, and he's also not afraid to stick his nose in there and try and get the extra yards from running the football. But I think the story of today's football game has been field position by far. Edward Waters is typically starting inside their own 20, and Bluefield is starting inside of Ed Waters' 20 also.
But still, even if you look at that, that is why the game is still relatively low scoring, though, is because the defenses have done such a great job. Now, the Rams haven't had as hard of a set to work with as Edward Waters had. So you have to commend the Tigers a little bit that this game isn't even more out of hand.
I agree. Those stops at the beginning of the game where we only got field goals and ended up with 6 points going into half is a testament to the bend but don't break of that Ed Waters defense.
Well, Christian Hayes in a QB. Under center, he'll get it. Rolling out right, looking for someone to flick it to. Still dancing for a 2-yard gain, and he's tackled. Went all the way out on the far sideline, got up to the 12. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6.
Another reason this Ed Waters coaching staff is running multiple quarterbacks is when you run the option, your quarterback will get hit on almost every single play. So they're just trying to have 3 guys that can run the football along with pass and interchangeable so that they don't wear each other out.
We have not seen Tyler Mala for Ed Waters in the second half. Hayes in a shotgun, pump fake. He's rolling out left under some pressure. Still looking for a man. Throws it over the middle, and it is caught at the 40-yard line. Big pass reeled in by Basil Spencer, who is listed as a running back, but he gets it all the way up to the 41. Great gain for the Tigers and a first down.
That's a great play by the freshman. It's hard as a defensive back to hold on to your man for 7-8 seconds, and he found him over the middle and made a great pass.
So they get it at the 42. 1st and 10 for Ed Waters. And Hayes will stay in the shotgun. And a flag comes out right after the snap. Looks like it could be some movement on the line. So I'm going to talk this one over. Just 11-11 left to go in the game. Bluefield looking for their first shutout win since the 1941 season. Now, that was the last football season before Bluefield reinstated the football program a few years ago. Still looking for the play call or the penalty call, and there is no flag. So it is 1st and 10 at the 42. Hayes in at quarterback, shotgun, right on his right, and 3 receivers on the far sideline. He'll take it on a draw right up the middle. Flags coming down before Darius Flowers absolutely plows him into the turf near the 42-yard line. So a gain of nothing, but a flag coming down.
When do you think Edward Waters' offense is going to feel the sense of urgency that we have to start throwing the ball and getting the ball down the field quickly?
They have to do it fast. They have to do it fast because they don't have much time to do it, and Bluefield's defense has been able to answer. Legal formation on the offense. That'll bring it back 5 more yards, and it'll be 1st and 15. 1st and 15 from the 37. So that will wipe off a small run. And Christian Hayes will stay in at quarterback, bringing in a new lineman. It's Ed Waters. New lineman will be Jarius Joyce, 6'3", 280 sophomore. He'll line up as a guard. Hayes in the gun once again, a high snap, rolling right. Under pressure from Everett. He'll have to take it himself up near the line of scrimmage and going out of bounds. Small run up to the 42-yard line, gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 10. So he's under pressure that time, by Andre Evans, who's coming off of the edge, the linebacker. 2nd and 9 from the 43. That sense of urgency has not clicked in.
No, and that's one thing that a team that runs the football with success struggles with is when you do get down by 20 points or so, it's hard to completely change your style and start throwing the ball.
Both of these teams 0-1 looking for their first win. Bluefield still up by 3 scores. Snap to Hayes, rolling left, sets his feet, looking for a pass. Under pressure, dumps it off to Basil Spencer at the 40, cutting back on the far sideline near the 45, trying to find a block, and a good tackle for Bluefield.
And I believe
a flag at the end of the play.
Yeah, I believe that's going to be the defensive back for Edward Waters, number 5. Rural Allen really hit Isaiah Frenner really, really late after that play.
Chris DeBerry was in on the tackle for Basil Spencer. Spencer's still on the ground, and it was a late flag. Rural down Isaiah Frenner late, and this could bring back that small gain. Still talking about this flag. We have seen some chippy plays so far in this game. And Basil Spencer's still on the ground. Oh, Bluefield up 19-0. The turnovers have been big. Bluefield has been able to score on 2 of them. One was A fumble picked up by Sean Kolb, and then the other, an interception by Michael Everett. Bluefield ended up scoring on the very next play, a 16-yard touchdown pass from Churchy Harold. But we talked about it a little bit a few minutes ago. We'll say it again. Bluefield looks like a different team here in the second half.
Absolutely. Their defensive line has come out and gotten a lot of pressure on the Edward Waters quarterbacks, and that has opened up our defensive backs to be able to make plays and get what you call coverage sacks, forcing the quarterback into a bad decision or a very short scramble gain, maybe 2 or 3 yards.
And it's tough to find any chemistry if you're Ed Waters when you throw out 3 quarterbacks. Tyler Mullen was the starter. Christian Hayes got a solid amount of playing time as he is right now, but then Randy Williams brought in for the past 3 drives. And now Hayes looking for the first points today for Ed Waters. And they've really tried to roll the dice. I mean, Alvin Wyatt elected to go for a fake punt when they were at their own 10-yard line.
That's a risky move. You don't usually see that in college football. You'll see it more so in the Madden video game.
But doing it here in NAIA, and a big flag's going to move Ed Waters on a personal foul call all the way back to their own 29. So they had it near the 50, and it's going to be 2nd and 23 to go from the 29-yard line, and a whole lot of room to go for Christian Hayes and the Ed Waters offense.
Along with the Ed Waters offense in their starting field position, they have played behind the sticks. I'd say almost half of their drives, half of their plays in each drive.
Ball spotted at the. It's the snap, rolls left, looking for a man. Devin Jackson gives him some pressure, going towards the sideline, and he's pushed out of bounds and actually running into a trainer before hitting the fence. She seems to be okay. No gain on the play. Got to give it to Hayes for keeping that play going without getting sacked. 9:30 left to go in this game. There seems to be all right, though. Now, whistle blows. Referee's trying to get this going. So it's 3rd and 21. No gain on the play. Trying to find where the ball should be spotted. Right now they have it on the 29.
We're trying to reset the play clocks, I believe.
Now resetting the play clock at 40, and the whistle blows. 3rd and 23 from the 29-yard line. 2 receivers on the right side. Randy Williams barking at his offensive line. But instead,
Time in the air.
Myers back to 30 set.
Field's going to slow.
Timeouts left. And Bluefield lines up in the eye. Snap. Hand off to Rashad Butler right up the middle. A solid gain. Up across the 45 to the 46. And Bluefield only has 1 yard to go for a first down. It's a gain of 9, but a Ed Waters defensive lineman is down. And it looks like it's Zuriel Davis. 6'5", 340, redshirt freshman. Looks to be in some pain. Still laying down on the turf, but Rashad Butler, great game for him so far, back so far in the season.
I think another thing is when he sees that hole, Alex Martin is a big physical running back. When he sees the hole, he seems to get through it a little bit quicker and get those bursts of 5-6 yards pretty quick.
Davis, the big boy, taking off of the field now. Able to get back up on his own accord. It'll be 2nd and 1. Bluefield will likely line up right back in the I formation. Ball spotted at the 46. 2nd and 1. Bluefield in the I. Sean Butler, the tailback. That is 3rd down. Hands it off to Butler once again on the right side. Can't get anything. Back up to the 46. Close to a first. He might have gotten an inch on that play. And it will be 4th and short. Fourth and one. Bluefield still on the field with their full offense, and they will punt it. Another 3 and out for the Rams, but still run the clock out a little bit. Now it's only 7:46. Three straight rushes, nothing going. But now they still have a chance to play field position once again.
You got to think on a third down play. Alex Martin on third down back.
Presley back to point in the leg. Good one. Even at the 15, and immediately tackled once again. That was Tyler Jr. I don't know why. You can't catch it. Good tackle by Tyler. Tyler brings him down immediately. It'll be a first and 10 near the 16-yard line. Ed Waters on the verge of getting shut out. Did not do anything on this drive. Thrown out three quarterback. Tyler Mullen, we received no information on him. He was the starting quarterback to begin the game for Everett Waters College Tigers. And then Christian Hayes brought in. And Randy Williams has been the quarterback for a decent amount of the second half. Guy that passes a little bit more, has deeper throws. And he will be the quarterback once again. Fires on the right side, and it is incomplete. Isaiah Fenner on the coverage, and a bullet pass bouncing all the way near the opposing stands. So it'll be 2nd and 10 at the 16-yard line.
And this is a point when Edward Waters needs to start spreading it out and trying to throw the ball down the field.
And that's why they bring in a guy like Randy Williams, who has been able to do that, just not execute it today. 2nd and 10. Three receivers on the right side near the far sideline. Bluefield lining up with a 3-man front. Snap to Williams, looking for a man. Fires on the right side, completed to Jamal Hughes. He's immediately tackled. Combining that time was Chris DeBerry and Andre Evans, the linebacker. Get into it a little bit right after the play is over. No gain on the play, 2nd and 10. Or 3rd and 10, rather. So DeBerry right there. And 3rd down for the Tigers. Actually, it's 3rd and 7. Williams still in as quarterback. Bluefield fans getting into it. 6.5 minutes left to go in the game. Rams showing blitz by DeBerry. Taking himself.
Points with about 6 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter.
I think that he thought there might have been a little bit of a gap, but the Rams able to close it quickly, and Darius Flowers, the senior, shedding the block, able to make a tackle. Myers back to receive the punt. Once again, it's been a punting party for Christiani Robinson, who does have one of the better completions of the game on that fake punt pass. Snap. Robinson gets the punt off. It's a good one. Myers, off of his fingertips, picks it up on a bounce, and he's going to go on the right side looking for a block. Still dancing at the 30, on his feet up to the 32, and then he is tackled. Brought down by Randy Randall, as well as Jamarcus Brunson. Ball at the 34-yard line, and a fresh set of downs for Churchy Harrell. So that third quarter really changed the game, Nick, because Bluefield has been stopped in their tracks in the fourth quarter by the Tigers' defense, except for that one touchdown pass that was the first play of the fourth quarter. But still, for Bluefield, haven't been able to get anything going in the fourth quarter, so it's been a solid defensive matchup despite the 19-0 score. Right up the middle to Martin, still dancing around up to the 40, and then he's tackled on a solid hit by Joey Williams up to the 42-yard line. Gain of 8, 2nd and 2.
I think we're going to see a steady dose of Alex Martin for the next 5 minutes and 13 seconds.
Alex in North Carolina. Offense looking at the sideline to Dewey Lusk. Give him the signs here. 2nd and 2 to go at the 42. Clock ticking, under 5 minutes left to go in the game. Harold looking around. In the gun. It's the snap, hands it off to Martin right up the middle. He's got a first down and more. 45-40, 35-30, and tackled at the 22-yard line. A huge gain for the North Carolinian running back, and a first down in the red zone for the Rams. Huge gain, Nick, and you said it. Big dosage of Alex Martin, and that'll be enough. He's brought right to the sideline after a huge gain.
Absolutely. Give the big man a break.
1st and 10 from the 23. Bluefield looking to go up by 4 scores. Remember, folks, 19-0. Our sports information director here informed us, Bob Red that is, that Bluefield has not shut out an opponent since 1941. Harold in the gun. Gets the snap, hands it off to Malik Brown, and he'll dance up to the 19-yard line on a tackle by Zuriel Davis. And a second down situation for Bluefield, 2nd and 6. Well, the Rams never huddle, but each time they take enough time looking at the sideline to Dewey Lusk. That offensive line has shown some strength. They're one of the more experienced parts of this inexperienced roster for Bluefield. 2 receivers on the near sideline. Harold in the gun. Brown, the back right on his left. Snap to Brown. Dances out left side. Has the first down up to the 10-yard line. 1st and 10 for Bluefield, or 1st and goal, I should say, after Malik Brown moves the chains. Another running back. Actually, a slot receiver. Jaquan Finley in as the receiver after Jeffrey Hughes is taken out. 2 receivers right side. Antonio Strickland looking for his first catch of the ball game. Charles Black in at the slot. Cade Mullins on the left. Harold taking his time. 1st and goal from the 10. Hands it off right up the middle, and he's immediately brought down. Malik Brown with a loss of 1. So it'll be 2nd and goal from the 11.
I think if we do go play action and pop something over the middle, they haven't shown us safety in the red zone the past 3 drives we've been down there, including the touchdown pass to start the 4th quarter.
Sir Darius Mixon, the freshman guard, brought in for Andrew McPhee, who will go to the sideline. And a timeout call by Ed Waters with 2:37 left to go in the game. So we'll take a break here. It's 2nd and 11, but that 11 is the goal line, so it's 2nd and goal. 19-0, Bluefield looking for their first win of the season here at Mitchell Stadium. Second and goal from the 11 after the timeout. Snap to Harold. He'll take it himself on a draw and get up to the 10-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 10 from the 10. Bluefield still up 19-0 with 2.5 minutes left to go in the game. Bluefield looking for a big win that would really set a statement here in the Mid-South Conference. Remember, folks, the Rams did not win a game until later in the season last year. They only won 1 game, and here we are in the second game of the Dewey Lusk era, looking for that win.
I agree, and I think this is a point where in-game you have a chance for Walter Harold and his young receivers to get on the same page when you're up 19.
Snap, and he'll hand it off to Malik Brown, brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Good tackle by James Reese in this game. So James Reese, the DB, wearing number 13, listed on the roster as number 3. And they're going to bring out the kick team. Tanner Griffith looking for his 3rd field goal attempt of the game. And a timeout call. 1:54 left to go. 4th and 15. So this will be about a 33-yarder for the kicker, Tanner Griffith, to put the Rams up 22-0. Looking for a first win of the season just here in the second game. And Bluefield, even though they're up 19-0, when you move forward in a game against Southeastern next week in Lakeland, Florida, you got to make sure that these red zone opportunities end up with more than just field goals.
Absolutely. I think that's a big thing that's happened this game is we have been in the red zone and we've come away with, thank goodness our kicker can kick, but we've come away with only 9 points, I believe.
Athletic team. But Bluefield has played a little bit smarter than Ed Waters has today, and I think the consistency for Bluefield is something to also talk about. They only had one quarterback the whole game, while the Tigers have thrown out 3, and Bluefield here in the second half absolutely dominated, and that's a big testament to the Rams' defense as well. So now Tanner Griffith out to kick, 32-yarder, lined up right down the middle with the wind blowing on the right. Kick is up, and it is short. So the score will stay 19-0 after the 32-yarder is no good. And Bluefield will have to go out on defense once again with 1:50 left to go. But this one almost in the books, folks, pending maybe a miracle by Ed Waters. And we have another change in possession right here. So not a great kick from Tanner Griffith, even though he did have a couple of good kicks to start out the game. The first kick of the ball game was a 33-yarder. But now, starting out on their own 20 is Edward Waters.
Back to the kicking. Each snap that we've had has been to the holder's right side a little bit. It's been tough for the holder to be able to get the snap down clean, and that just throws off the entire timing of the kick.
Randy Williams back in as the quarterback. Receivers on his right side, 3 of them, and then 1 receiver on his left. Shotgun snap, drops back. Looking up the middle, and he will be tackled behind the line of scrimmage. A bunch of Rams mixing it up. Devin Jackson brings senior Bobby McBride, the redshirt freshman from the Bronx. And the clock still running. Under 1.5 minutes left to go. 2nd and 14. It was a loss of 4. Bluefield looking for a huge win to set a statement here in the 2 Virginias. Christian Hayes in at the quarterback position. He's hanging one deep, looking for a man. He's got it complete. 35-30, 25-20, 15-10, and tackled at the 6-yard line. Huge catch by Rorell Allen, and it's going to be 1st and goal for the Tigers.
That was a great throw and catch, and also a great hustle play by Bluefield, too. Track him down and tackle him before he gets in the end zone.
Now Larry Jefferson brought in to be a pass rusher. Tigers only have 1 timeout left. And if you're Ed Waters, you got to be wondering where that was the entire game, because this one almost about done. Bluefield with that shutout intact, in danger right now, but still up by 3 scores under a minute. Christian Hayes with the clock still running. 50 seconds left to go in the ball game. He'll line up under center with Matthew Holland, the fullback, right behind him, lining up in a 3-point stance. And a timeout called by Ed Waters. Huge gain on the play by Rorell Allen on a picture-perfect pass from Christian Hayes. We're going to take a break. 45 seconds left to go in the ball game. 1st and goal from the 7 for the Tigers. Left to go in the game. Bluefield winning this one 19-0. Trying to break up the shutout. Hayes gets the snap, rolling right, will take it himself up towards the goal line, and he's pushed out of bounds. Carlton Toussaint and Chris DeBerry able to get the contact and push him out of bounds. But they keep the clock rolling. 30 seconds left to go. It will be 2nd and goal from the 1.
And if you're Edward Waters, you're looking for a score here just to get a moral victory throughout this football game.
Hayes with a shotgun snap. He'll take it. Dancing up towards the goal line, and he is very close to the goal line. Edward Waters thinking it's a touchdown, but he is not in. 3rd and goal from the 1. 5 seconds left to go. Looking for the shutout. Trying to get the snap off. He will spin close to the goal line, and a flag comes in. No touchdown signaled, but a flag will come out. Clock has ticked to 0. Bluefield looking for their first shutout since before Pearl Harbor. It's 19-0. And the flag, we got to see what will happen here. Illegal formation for the Tigers. And the clock clicks to 0. And the Rams have won 19-0. A shutout and the home opener here at Mitchell Stadium. And everyone is pumped up.
Absolutely. I believe that this team has bought into what Dewey Lusk is selling, and I think that he has everybody together. We are young, but Lusk has been around for a while, and I think he knows what he's doing.
And absolutely, you see in that game a very different second half. Bluefield was up 6-0 going into the second half, but a big pickoff by Michael Everett, touchdown by Johnny Myers, and you see that 48-yard drive capped off on the 3-yard touchdown by Rashad Butler. You just see this team, they had a little bit of diversity throughout the game. The defense stayed strong, and they were able to get a big shutout victory.
Right, I think our defense is one of the, if not the highlight of this football game. They were put through adversity all day long, and to get the first shutout since 1941 is a huge deal for this team and most importantly this defense.
So Walter Harreld finishes 5 for 16, 2 interceptions and a touchdown. The leading rusher in this game, Alex Martin, 12 attempts, 98 yards, an average of 8.2 yards per carry, and 35 was his longest rush of the day. Don't forget about Rashad Butler either, folks. He had 54 yards and a touchdown on the longest run of 21. So Bluefield on that defense, though, pretty good day for them. You saw the couple of those interceptions, Michael Everett, or just one interception, but then those 2 fumble recoveries, and that was big to get Bluefield in the win column here.
Absolutely. Along with that, our defensive line got going, and we ended up with 2 sacks, I believe. So that was huge. We talked about that before the game, is when are we going to get that first sack and when are we going to get that pressure on the quarterback. I believe that we did that mostly in the second half today.
Devin Jackson, Darius Flowers, they got their names called on a lot. The linebackers, Andre Evans and Michael Everett, also with good coverage. And really, up until that last drive, Edward Waters did not threaten for any touchdowns.
No, they had that one long pass there with time running out. Other than that, it was long drives, but they didn't really get anywhere.
So Bluefield improves to 1-1. Edward Waters falls to 0-2. So, Nick, before we wrap it up today, got any final thoughts on this Rams victory?
I think that this is a different football team than we've seen the past 5 or so years. I think Dewey Lusk is doing an incredible job with the 62 freshmen. And I think that this season is going to be one that defines Bluefield College football going into the future.
Well, pretty good thoughts there, sir, as Bluefield improves to 1-1 on the year. The team surrounding Dewey Lusk in triumph, a big win here at Mitchell Stadium. So for my broadcast partner, Nick Ratliff, my name is Bailey Engel, reminding you the final score from Mitchell Stadium. Rams get their first win of the year, 19-0. So until next week, when the Rams take on Southeastern in Lakeland, Florida, this is Bailey Engel saying, take it easy, Rams fans.